Well, this thing finally got here. I am surprised at how big the box is. Was that like 21 inches? I'm usually not too excited about an Amazon delivery, but this one I've been excited about. So let's see if it can meet my ridiculous expectations. So inside box number 1 is box number 2, which houses the entire thing. So that's a foot by about 16 inches. There's no void fill between the big box and the small box, just a box and a box. I'm sure that does some good, but could do better. At the top of box number 2, there's another handle, which I guess is going to be box number 3. I feel like it's one of those Russian doll things. And as expected, box number 3. This is 16 by 14 by 12. So let's see what else we got. So we get some Melita's guide, safety information, and some advertising and register your product. I've already got Cerberus filters waiting, so those filters will just be in case of emergency. And there it is, the big black cube. Definitely not my style. It's not my taste in design, but it's what it tastes like that matters, so we'll see. I've heard people complain about the reservoir. I can see what they mean. It just needs like a clear little slot so you can see easily where the water is. The plug is beefy. It's not grounded, but it's thick. And it immediately woke up as soon as I plugged it in. And here's the carafe, which I'll have to find a spot for that. I doubt I'll ever use it, but it could happen. And there's the basket. Up on the highest shelf with you. More filters for the batch brew basket. This was interesting. This basket rests in here by gravity. And then the pour-over basket clicks in kind of like a pen. Like that. And then this is for one and this is for many, if you can see that. Which I think it'll be on one almost all the time. My old eyes are not going to like this display. I realize that I am probably a bit older than the target market, but that's going to be rough. So this is interesting. It asks you for your altitude, which I just discovered I live at 200 meters. And it climbs by 30s. We'll go with 210. I'm at like 206 or 208. So it says between elevation and chime, you can see it says wireless. That did not appear on the display. It also says it's hip to be square, which I couldn't agree with less. Again, not the most important thing. Okay, so I created my first custom profile, which is pretty straightforward. I'm not going to sit here and go through the whole thing. It's intuitive enough. Use the dial, select, go back, do whatever you want. So now I'm going to run some distilled water through it for the first time and throw that out and take down that carafe from the shelf. It's not silent. I hear it tinkling. Okay, I brewed it and dumped it, and I've heard that when you open this thing up, it's a soggy, moist mess. Didn't seem like a big deal to me. I'm not sure what just happened, but when I put some water into the reservoir, just a little bit, a few drops of water came out of the filter basket. See what happens with that on the long term. Okay, small cup of coffee coming. And got the coffee circle jerk worthy origami aroma mug. Let's see what goes on next. That was interesting. There we go. Let's learn together. There's like a 45 second bloom that I programmed at 80 C, and then 2 pulses at 92 or 93, 92 and a half, somewhere in there, and then the second pulse at 90. I do not like acidy coffees. And I'm sorry about my shaky hands. It started when I was a teenager and it never got better. I think on a dose this small, I probably needed to go a shorter intermission between pulses. Should I count down? Let's not and say we did. Not gonna lie to you, that's a good cup of coffee. I was expecting kind of mediocrity. This is not a particularly great coffee bean that I'm using, which is obviously why I chose it for the first brew, but it tastes pretty darn good. So we'll see if we can continue with this level of success going forward.